What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Blueprint, where the goal is to be whole. Today is day 7 of 40 days of fasting, and man, I'm tired. I'm tired. Um, I really don't know how God is doing what He's doing, but He is definitely carrying me through this. I had went to work this morning, and so I have a particular passenger I pick up. He lives around the corner from my house. I pick him up Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And he pays me to take him to work. And it's more than what I normally would get if I waited for a ride. So we're driving and we're having a conversation. And he, all of a sudden we get downtown Atlanta, and I look up like we were coming around the corner, and it was just all this traffic. And he was like, "Oh man, I saw the sign, and I wanted to say something, but I was listening to what you were saying." And we had to sit in traffic for 45 minutes. So I'm I'm having to regulate myself, right? Because I have a goal to reach. Again, I talked about this before. When I get into difficult situations, I kind of go through this cycle. And fortunately for today, even though I was tired, I didn't go through this, oh man, it's gonna be this, and now I'm gonna have to I didn't go through. I probably say, like, maybe for a split second it was like, oh, you get frustrated. But I said, okay, well, there's really nothing we can do. We just got to kind of sit here. There was some sort of accident, and it took us 45 minutes to get through and get him to where he needed to go. Now, at that point, I almost decided to just call it quits. Like, I'm just going to go home for the day. Like, I'm tired. I got a couple of dollars saved, so I can use that. And it was like, nah, I'm still good. I'm still in a good place to, reach my goal. It's okay. Just, keep going. So I ended up staying for most of the day. But then my back started hurting, being in a car sitting down for a long period of time. This was just, it hadn't happened in a while, but my back was hurting. So I think, probably from working out yesterday, it kind of took a toll. So I decided to, cut it short about an hour or so, hour or two early, and went to the gym. When you are tired from fasting, I'm I'm trying to keep my same routine of going to the gym Monday through Friday and working out. I'm not doing as extensive workouts or moving as quickly. One, when you move really quickly, for me, I get dizzy. My heart starts racing like I just ran a 100-mile sprint. So I have to go slow. I come home and I take my customary nap. I try to lay down for, I think it was 2 hours, and then my alarm went off, and I couldn't get up. I couldn't do it. I was just like, I'm gonna just lay here, and I fell back to sleep. But then about 10 minutes later, I started to get a revelation about some things that I was working on, and I had to write those things down. So I got up, wrote that out, and then I jumped on social media. And I'm scrolling, and one of the things that I do this every fast, which is the weirdest thing in the world. Whenever I'm fasting, I always come across videos of food. And I will just watch different clips of how people make different foods that I really, really would love to eat and enjoy that are healthy. I'm on a, working out, and, 80% of your physique comes as a result of your eating habits. Most people think it's, just working out. It's not. It's the food you eat. So I've gotten a routine for my workouts. That's why I'm able to go to the gym even though I'm tired, because I don't have to spend a lot of time thinking. This is the beauty of what I call minimizing and eliminating distractions by having a plan where you know what to do now and you know what to do next. Like thoroughly thinking through what you're doing allows for you to not have to think. You can just act. This is one of the reasons why a lot of people, including myself, have failed often when they're trying to pursue something. They get into the valley of what to do next. And because they don't know what to do, doubt starts to set in, confusion starts to set in. And then they, in their moment of challenge, decide, you know what, I'm just gonna, and they'll rationalize, oh, I'll come back to it. And they never do. So I'm scrolling on social media watching these food videos, and an hour goes by. And I'm like, all right, I watch one more. I gotta get off. No. I watch one more. And I'll do this thing where, I'm looking at something and I'm telling myself, okay, after this video, I'm gonna get off. And then something else that's attractive to me comes up and I'm like, no, I gotta watch this last one. And then I start looking up different ways that I could make my own Snickers bar, because I love Snickers, but there's so much sugar and calories in this one little bar. I just was like, maybe I can make my own. But after watching how, it's made, I'm like, this is nothing but sugar. Like the nougat is all sugar. It's granulated sugar and what's that liquid sugar? I can't think of the name of it, but it's just all sugar. So I'm like, okay, I can't do that. I'm not going to do that. So I finally get off. And my routine is when I come home, I will give God thanks for what he's done. I drive all day. I'm out there sometimes 8 to 10 hours a day. Anything can happen in between that time. Most people don't spend a lot of time on the road, so the probability of something happening to them is less likely. I am out there 6 days a week sometimes. And God brings me home safe and sound. And with the way people in Georgia drive, it is a miracle every day, because people in Georgia cannot drive. And they will say, no, it's because of all the transplants. It is not because of all the transplants. It is because y'all don't know what you're doing. You know how to operate a car. You know how to put the car on the road, but you don't know how to drive. You don't know what you're doing and why you're doing it. You don't know how to drive. You don't understand traffic patterns. You don't understand when to do something. When you don't come on an off ramp onto the highway where everybody's doing 70 plus miles an hour at 40 miles an hour. You just don't. That's somebody from Georgia. But I digress. So I come home and I give God thanks for bringing me home. And then I'll take a nap, because it's like I can't really spend time with the Lord in a place where I'm emotionally, mentally, and physically drained. So after I get up and I get on social media, now social media is not a part of my routine. It was just when I got up. Well, I can't say it's not. It is something that I do to kind of get my mind going once I wake up. But that has a tendency of going into, me scrolling. So I'm trying to pull back on doing that. But I usually will sit down and put my headphones on to drown out any noise that would cause any distraction for me. For me, when I put my headphones on, there is this serenity or this peace that I feel. What it does is it allows me to calm down mentally, emotionally, and allow my spirit to still itself. And I'll either write, I'll read, or I'll pray. Right? One of those three things I'm going to do at my little altar on the side of my bed. And it's not an altar, it's just a desk with my Bible and my journal. It is an altar, but when I say altar, it's just a designated spot that is for just that. So I get up and I go to that particular area, and I'm like, man, Lord, I just, after watching all these videos, it's like, man, I just want to eat. This is hard. I want to eat something, but it was like, what did he say? You're not hungry. What You're not hungry, you just don't like being weak. It's like, what? And it was very, very clear. I'm not hungry. I haven't eaten in 7 days. I'm not hungry. What I don't like is feeling this weakness. I don't like feeling like I have no energy. I don't like feeling powerless. And it's not that this makes me feel powerless, like I can't do anything. But when I look at the idea of what it is to be weak or feel weak in my life, this is just a microcosm of something bigger. I don't like being in a state of weakness. I don't like feeling powerless. I don't like feeling low. I don't like feeling less than. I don't like all these different things. I don't like discomfort. I don't like it. And as a result of not wanting to feel what I'm feeling, I know the remedy unconsciously, instinctively is food. Why? Because when I'm not eating, which means what I'm feeling is associated with, is connected to a lack of food. To remedy that, I just need to eat. So I'm not looking for food for the sake of food. I'm looking for food to remedy this feeling of being weak. And as I was writing about this particular experience, some other stuff started to come out. What I'm doing when I'm on social media, and you probably are doing the same thing. What I'm doing is I'm using social media to distract me and to take my mind from my awareness of the discomfort I'm feeling. I'm basically putting myself out of my misery. That's what that's what it was all about. I was feeling uncomfortable because it was like 4 o'clock. I got a whole rest of the day to go. I don't really have much that I have things to do. I don't have the energy that I think I need to do it. And I can do it. I just don't want to, I don't feel like doing it. There's something about, having the motivation, the energy to do what it is that you are supposed to be doing to advance your life and whatever it is. I have stuff to do. I don't want to do it. My energy is drained, and I don't like that feeling. And what God showed me was he showed me, I can't remember it all, it's in my journal. It's like when you do that, what you're doing is you are robbing God of the opportunity to be what you need. See, what I need is strength. What I need is comfort in these moments of being uncomfortable. But I would have to rely on God for that because God is my strength and my comfort. The Bible says that He's strong and mighty. It says that He, being the Holy Spirit, is the comforter. So He is the source of my strength and my comfort. But instead of going to Him, I'm relying on me. That's so wild. I'm relying on me to provide for myself strength and comfort, or rather, in this situation, comfort, because I want to get through this fast, but I don't want to, I'm struggling to endure the pain of not doing what it is that I want to do. I'm struggling to endure the discomfort of not being able to just go in the refrigerator or go to the store or go to a restaurant and just get something to eat. I'm struggling to fulfill my vow to God. And I'll say it even more, to fulfill my vow to myself. Is this going to be another thing that I fold under the pressure of discomfort and walk away from my commitment because I don't want to feel what I'm feeling? So I'm struggling, right? And God is showing me how this all plays out on a micro scale, but on a larger scale. So I'm reading 1 Kings chapter 24, 5 and 6, and it's about David and how David basically has this opportunity to avenge himself. He can kill King Saul and remove this threat from his life with his own hands. And God makes a way where he doesn't have to do that. God, and when I say he doesn't have to, God keeps him from doing that because it was something that he considered. And what in my fast and realizing what's happening with me trying to relieve myself through social media to help me to endure, and what God is showing me about David and avenging himself, and what God is showing me about a situation I had. I think I talked about it a couple of days ago, where I had done wrong, where someone had wronged me, or I felt like they were wronging me, and I did something to avenge myself. And God is showing me that in all of those things, the root of it is me taking matters into my own hands. That's what he's trying to deal with. Wow, that's the answer to my prayer. I asked God, what is it that what is the focus of this? Just the other day, he's dealing with this you taking matters into your own hands, me. Because when we rely on ourselves, and what I mean by that is utilizing the resources that we have to remedy the situation in a way that we think is best, instead of inquiring of the Lord for what he desires for us to do. That is relying on your own strength. Now, you have to do something, right? God is going to have you do something, and he's going to tell. But the idea of relying on your own strength is you doing what you want to do to bring about the solution that you think is best, how you think is best, for the reasons you think you should do it. That's all about what you want. But as a believer, we are always praying, thy kingdom come, thy will be done. So we give up our right to not necessarily make our own decisions, but we give up our right to make decisions that are against the will of God. Why? Because we have dedicated our lives to the Lord, which means we've dedicated our lives to live in such a way that pleases him. That's what this is about. But you can't do that. I can't do that when I'm taking matters into my own hands. I can't do that if, someone wrongs me and I avenge myself. Why? Because where God is taking me, that can't go. Where God is taking you, that can't go. The unnecessary arguments, the doing something to get back, the all the things that you do to remedy a situation in the way in which you think it should be remedied, because that's what would make you feel good in the moment. But that which feels good in the moment may not be good in the end. And that's the thing. God has called me to a place where I'm to do his will in the earth. I'm not here by accident. I'm not here for any regular situation. I'm here to bring about a result that the Lord wants. And I can't do that unless I yield my spirit, myself, my will to his will. And to practice that is in this fast, where instead of going to social media, instead of going to do something that would preoccupy my mind, right? I go to the Lord and I say, I acknowledge, right, where I am. And I confess and encourage myself in the truth, because regardless of what I feel, the truth is still the truth. We talked about this before. It doesn't matter what you believe. What is the truth? The truth is he's your strength. I know you feel what you're feeling right now, but you have enough strength to endure what it is that you're enduring, right? He is your comfort. He is your comfort. You don't have to feel all great about what you're doing. It's a fast. You're not eating. You're not supposed to feel good. I can only imagine. I can only imagine what Jesus went through. He didn't have nothing to distract him. He just had to be with the Lord. And I'm like, God, I don't know how he did that. Because my mind, I started thinking of all kind of songs from, things I listen to, is like all kinds of crazy stuff just starts coming up when you're fasting. Like, what is that? Like, why am I singing Juicy from Biggie? Like, I haven't heard that song in years. Why am I singing that? But it starts to reveal what's on the inside. You are purging not just food. You are purging things from your spirit. And this stuff is coming up, and it's giving you an opportunity to go before the Lord and say, Lord, I need you. And it's giving you an opportunity to rely on him by confessing to yourself and telling yourself, no, I know what you feel. I know you're tired right now, but the Lord is your strength, which means you may feel tired, but you have the strength. You may feel powerless, but you have the power. What you feel and what you have are not the same thing. You are feeling something. You're experiencing some emotion about your situation and circumstance, but that does not negate the fact that you have the power to do exactly what God said you had the power to do, because God gave you the power to do it. You just have to make a decision to act on what it is that is the truth, regardless of how you feel. I didn't feel like doing this video. I started scrolling again. Put the phone down. Lord, I don't know what to talk about. Maybe I shouldn't. You know what? I'm just going to trust you. The Lord said, do not worry in that time. Do not worry about to say, for in that time I will give you what to say, for it will not be you speaking, but me speaking through you. I'm believing that the Lord is going to speak. I don't know what he's going to do with this. I don't know how he's going to do something with this. I don't know if he's going to have anybody even watch this. But if you ever watch this, you may feel like you don't have what it is that you need, but what you feel and what you have are two different things. You may feel like you don't have enough, right? But that does not mean you don't have enough. You may not feel like you're not enough, but that does not mean you are not enough. You may feel like you're not strong, but the Bible says, let the weak say I'm strong. Why? Because God is your strength. You're not relying on you. You're relying on him to do that which only he can do in bringing his will to pass in your life. I've been trying to bring the will of the Lord to pass in my life. How crazy is that? It's his plan for my life. It's his will for my life, right? And yet I'm trying to do all the work to bring it to pass. How crazy. It's not. I remember when God showed me, he's like, it's not for you to bring my will to pass in your life. That's my job. You can't bring my will to pass in your life. You don't even know what my will is. You know parts of what I have for you, but you don't know all that I have for you. You can't do it. It's for me to do. And I'm just like, man, but All this talk about, I got to do this and I got to do that. Yeah, 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 yeah. How about you rest? And rest doesn't mean do nothing. Rest means allowing the Lord to guide, lead, and show you what it is that he wants you to do so that you do what he asks you to do and the strength that he gave you to do it. That's what rest is. So that when you do what it is that he asks you to do the way he asks you to do it, his power moves to bring about the result with so little effort that it blows your mind. That's rest. I don't have to, fret and hustle and grind and do all these different things. That's not the will of the Lord for my life. The will of the Lord for my life is, hey, come spend some time with me. Come learn of me, as Jesus said. Right? And for me, it's been difficult. It's been very, very difficult learning from the Lord. Because you got to put up with some BS. Like I grew up in a household where, one, I was the youngest, so you already know the dynamic with that. Two, I felt bullied, you know what I mean? Not like all the time, but I was called faggot, little girl, and you feel less than. So I grew up with this sense of worthlessness. So I I felt shunned. I didn't really have a good relationship with people in my family. So it's hard for me to accept disrespect because I felt so disrespected when I was a kid. And you think you're going to do this when I'm an adult? Nah, we ain't. I don't care. Like, I'm not. And all of that comes from a poor self-image. Pride is a result of a poor self-image. The one who we associate pride with, Satan, if you look at it, when it talks about him, being prideful and the things that he said, I think it's in the book of Isaiah, man, he compares himself to God. And when I'm going to ascend higher than the throne, which that says is right now, I am less than the throne. He was comparing himself to God and felt less than, and that produced pride in him. I don't want to be less than. I don't want to be weak. I don't want to be powerless. I don't want to be. But God said, it is in your weakness that I am made strong. Why? Because as I illustrated, me going to social media, using the resources that I had to put myself, my mind away from what I was feeling, what that does is, again, it conditions me to believe that I'm doing the work to get myself through this. And then I start taking pride in what I did. You know what I had to deal with? I had to do this and I had to do that and I had to, and I. It becomes, you condition yourself to be prideful because you start thinking about the things that you believe you did to get to where you are. When the truth of the matter is God has been orchestrating everything and carrying you through and giving you the strength to get through it. You didn't need to do those things. You just thought you needed to do those things, and therefore you did it, and you believed that was the reason why you got through. That wasn't the reason why you got through. That was the reason why you weren't conscious of what God was doing, but that wasn't the reason why you got through. And in conditioning yourself to do these things, you again develop this idea that you did it, and you give yourself the credit for where you got. And that's what pride is, right? That's how it manifests. You start taking the glory. You start taking the credit for what God did because you didn't recognize that it wasn't you. It was him But because you were preoccupied with trying to relieve yourself and you felt some relief, you believe that you had to do all these different things to get yourself through, and you fail to recognize and acknowledge all those moments where you didn't have the opportunity to relieve yourself. All those moments you didn't have the opportunity to remove your awareness from your discomfort. You're not recognizing that the very life that you have comes from the Lord. And therefore, because you didn't do anything to earn the life that you have, nothing in your life is anything that you can actually take credit for. You can't really, I mean, we have, it's funny that the idea of working for something and feeling like you earned it is a man-made idea. And what I mean by that is that man has created this construct, right? Where we allow certain people who have done certain things in certain spaces and not allow other people. And what we get to do when we create that is we get to say, you earned this. When the reality of it is that nothing that you ever experience in life is something that you earn. You get to experience it, but you didn't earn the experience. You get to experience because, again, you didn't do anything in order to obtain life. You didn't earn life. So anything that you experience in life is not something you can earn. It's something you get to experience. Now I understand why people say, you don't have to, you get to. Good and bad, pain and pleasure. You don't have to experience this. You get to experience it. It is a privilege for you to experience this. Why? Because you didn't actually do anything to earn having life. And therefore, all the glory, all of the kudos, the accolades goes to the man above. Because it's him. He is the one who's sustaining. He is the one who is strengthening. He is the one who is bringing success. See, he is the one who is giving comfort. It is him. And we can't take anything from it. Yes, I feel tired. Actually, I have more strength over the last 2 days than I have had the first 5 days. And every day I'm getting stronger, but there are moments when I just don't have the energy. It's not that I don't have any energy. It's just that in certain moments, I don't have the energy and I feel a certain way. And if I'm not careful, and if you're not careful, when you're in these moments of what you're feeling, if you don't take that thought captive, you can acknowledge the truth. Yes, I feel this way. But that doesn't mean, right? I feel weak, but that does not mean I don't have the strength. I feel weak. That does not mean that I don't have the strength. I just don't have the strength that I want to have. That does not mean I don't have the strength to accomplish what it is that I'm supposed to accomplish. Those are fundamentally two different things. So I wanted to share that with you, that sometimes the thing that you want is not the thing that you want. There's some sort of deep-seated need that you have that come out of a deficiency, a belief where you think it's wrong to be in a particular state. That's, again, one of the reasons why a lot of people fail. You fail to accomplish what it is that you want to accomplish because in the moment of weakness, in the moment of feeling powerless, in the moment of feeling like you don't have hope, you give up. Because you have adopted the feeling, one, as an identity, and then two is truth. When the truth, you're not allowing the truth to govern your decisions. I love something that I came up with when it comes to God, the word God, God. And it became a prayer for me. God of our desires, God of our decisions. That's good. But it's God our desire, govern our desires, govern our decisions. That's who God is. He governs our desires and he governs our decisions if we allow him. He will be my strength and my comfort in my time of need. He is the author and the finisher of my faith. This is who he is. And as I'm going through this situation and circumstance, I'm having to acknowledge the truth of the fact that I don't want to rely on him. Oh, let me rephrase that. I'm learning that this is an issue. I want to rely on him, but this is the issue. The issue with relying on God and becoming more at peace with relying on him and trained to rely on him is the fact that I have to wait, or I think I have to wait. I don't want to wait. I want immediate relief right now. The moment I say, God, I need help, I want you to do something to make me feel different. Because that's what I think strength is. That's what I think comfort is. That strength and comfort come out of or are evidenced by a change in my feeling. Now, it does manifest itself in that, but I want it immediately. But the reality of it is that what if I'm feeling what I'm feeling because of what I'm believing? The subconscious belief is that, oh, I don't know if I can do this. I can't do this. And now you start to feel tired. And now you start to feel all the things that's associated with you can't do this. But the truth is that you can. Why? Because God has given you the strength. So we're not going to operate based on what we feel. We're going to operate based on what he said. We're going to operate based on the truth. The truth is he is my strength and he lives in me, which means that everything that I need, I already have. Because everything that I need, he is and he lives in me, which means if I feel weak, that ain't got nothing to do with the truth that I am strong. I'm just associating or I'm experiencing something based on a belief that I have. It is not in association with the truth. The truth is the Spirit of the Lord lives in me and he is all powerful and he is strong and mighty and he is comforting. And it's interesting because when I said those things, my emotions changed. Think about that. What if what you're feeling, not even what if, what you're feeling is associated with the subconscious belief you have? That you can't, that you're going to fold, that you're going to, and it's like, no, that's not the truth. You're not going to. Not this time. Not this time. Why? Because you're going to rely on the one who is your strength. You're going to rely on the one who is your success. You're going to rely on the one who is your comfort. I'm not going to use so I'm going to train myself not to use social media as a means to distract myself. I'm going to go to the one who is my strength, who is my success, who is my comfort, to give me what I need to endure what it is that I'm going through, so that I train myself to rely on him in order that when the stakes are higher, I'm prepared to allow the Lord to fight my battles and not me fighting them on my own and on my own accord and doing whatever it is that I think I can do to avenge myself with my own hands. So that's what I have for you today. As always, don't try and change the world. Instead, build you and your world will transform. All right, y'all. Till next time.